one. All right, we should be live on here. Let's give it a few seconds. Excellent. We are good to go. Hey, everybody. This is Daily Motivation with Rich Fontaine. 365 days of consistency, doing the same things over and over again until they become habit. And today I have a special guest, Mr. Joe DiRoma, fellow entrepreneur, thought leader, influencer, and has been working in restaurants for many years, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, so management skills, business skills, and knows how to run a team. And so, Joe, I know you have a course called The Successful Man. Am I correct
Our
on that?
brand is the successful male. Our course is the success blueprint.
The Success Blueprint, and the brand is The Successful Men. And would you say your courses are geared towards men generally?
Yes. So the successful male is specifically focused on men's development. It's a comprehensive approach.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Because we all need it. Like we were talking off screen, I said there's a lot of boys out there, but probably very few actual men. So I want to ask you, Joe, what makes a man successful? What makes a man and not just a male?
Great question. The first thing that we teach, of course, is that success is very subjective, right?
Hmm.
And everyone's definition of success is different, but it's critical in your life to clearly define that for your life, because you can't hit a target that you can't see.
Hmm.
So you may be using a lot of energy, but many people confuse effort with progress. So you got to have a vision for where you want to go. So define your success. In order for us to stop playing Peter Pan, start and start growing up to be a man. One of the critical factors in that, of course, is maturity.
Hmm.
And that happens from really doing a deep dive into all domains of your life. From what we've seen, the majority of men focus very much just all their attention on one dimension, one domain in their life. And
Very
it's
true.
like, hey, if I just have a shredded body, then I'm successful. If I have a lot of zeros in my bank account, I'm successful. If I have a lake cottage, or if all my time is just with my family and nothing else, then I'm successful. And the reality is that there's many domains to life, and a real man focuses on all areas of his life, takes a multi-dimensional approach
Hmm.
to really give attention, and is where his feet are. I would also say that a real man is a man of high character, and character
Hmm.
is defined as moral excellence or firmness, which means you're not soft. You're not a chameleon looking for likes on Facebook. You are who you are, and other people's decision on how they feel about you is their responsibility, not yours. Um,
Love that.
I would also say that it's important that um, real men have integrity, because life is very fleeting, and you can get thrown in jail and be stripped of all your possessions and even get sick tomorrow, and you never know.
Amen.
As long as your soul is intact, then you're doing okay, right? Because real personal catastrophe happens in the corruption of the soul. So
Hmm.
again, it's about focusing on mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual domains of your life, as well as building healthy relationships, making sure that you're enhancing your money consciousness, focusing on your finances, leveling up your career, and of course, focusing on your health. So it's being a man is about finding that optimum balance between those domains of your life, and really focusing on that.
And I love that, Joe. And I guess basically, in a nutshell, that a real man focuses on all the dimensions of his life, not just one or two, but tries to have excellence in every single area that commands a human, especially a male human's life.
Yeah, that's right. When you wake up in the morning, do you aspire for greatness?
Mm,
Are you
great.
living an inspired existence?
Great question. Great answer. Great answer. Loved all of it. And I completely agree with you. I 100% agree with you. What I like to teach, and especially in my book, Destiny on Purpose, that we are threefold beings, that we are living simultaneously in three dimensions at once, which is the mental dimension, the non-physical, the metaphysical, the spiritual dimension, and our physical dimension. And we have to master all three in order to have that full 360 spectrum of our life. Because if one is lacking, because some people say, well, hey, if I have a lot of money, I'm good to go. But then if your mental game is not correct, and some people, that's why they could make a lot of money, but their mental health is struggling and they commit suicide. So one dimension won't ever fit the human. When you live on all three and you thrive and strive in all three, that's when you really create the life that you truly want. I 100% agree with you. And what I would say in my opinion, what makes a man, or a successful man is something that James Allen said in his book, As a Man Thinketh. One of my favorite books. I love that book. I've read it, too many times. But he said, there is no achievement without sacrifice. And I live by that quote, that in order for me to have anything that I want in life, there's something I have to give up. There's a cost for everything. Even in The Alchemist, he says everything has a cost. That's why before he got the treasure, he said, give me 10% of your flock of sheep. Everything has a cost. It says in tithes, that's where you pay your 10% always to get what you want. Because there's always a pay before you get. There's always a give before you get. And so I truly believe that there is no achievement without sacrifice. And real men know how to sacrifice. And the best example I could give that is actually funny enough is my cat, which is a male. We have two cats, one male, one female, and they had a litter. And we couldn't keep all the kittens, but we just kept them until they grew up enough to give them away and sell them. And I remember this one thing, and I just watched it, and it always impressed me, and it really hit me deeply, is I put the food out for the kittens and the cat. And he was the first one downstairs. He was already downstairs in the kitchen, and he just sat there and waited. He waited till the female came and the little kittens came, and they ate first. And he just sat there and waited. Whatever was left, that's when he went to eat. And I thought that was something he was never taught. Like, I never taught him that. He's a cat. But just being a male in the male species, innately he understands that I'm okay. I have to make sure my family, my wife, they're taken care of first, and then I'll take care of me last. And I always thought that was so profound, that even in an animal kingdom, he understood that I wait. Let them eat first, let them finish first, and then I'll come and get my plate. And I think a real man understands that some sacrifices are going to have to be made. Sometimes you have to sacrifice sleep. Sometimes you have to sacrifice time with your family. Sometimes you have to sacrifice work to spend time with your family. Sometimes you're always going to have to make these little sacrifices, but those are always pushing you to achieve greatness. That you understand that in order for me to get, there's a little bit I'm gonna have to give up first. And for me to actually make the transformation from a boy to a man is when I start letting little things go. When I start letting all the little things go in my life, that's when I start to achieve more as a man. Hanging out with friends, going out drinking, going out partying, just focusing on money. Or just focusing on my career instead of just looking at it at a big picture. I remember when I left my job, my wife got sick, and they told me, you have to come in. And I said, I don't have to do anything. They must not know me. I was like, my wife she was really sick that day, and I was afraid. She was really bad headaches. And she was like, Rich, I feel terrible. And she was feeling lightheaded. And, I didn't know what to do. I said, okay, well, if tomorrow you keep feeling the same way, I'm going to take you to the hospital in the morning. And so I reached out to my job and said, hey, I might have to take off tomorrow, take my wife to the hospital. And they said, no, we need you to come in. And I said, you know what? How about I don't come in and you can put my 2 weeks in? And you can just give me my 2 weeks. because if I had the choice between my wife's health and a job, I will always choose my wife's health. Why? Because in my list of things as a man, it goes God first, family second, business third. And when you live in that type of spectrum, I truly believe that's when you really start creating greatness. Because again, like you said, integrity, you will attract through your integrity, through the person that you are, not through some job. And that was one of the best choices I've ever made, and made me and my wife's relationship better. And it just showed her that, hey, I know that my man will be there for me no matter what. And I think that was what really makes a man a man.
Yeah, that's
And
fantastic.
thank you, Joe. Hey, I appreciate you guys for watching this. Please like, please share, please comment. And if you watch this live, we appreciate your feedback. And if you watch this later, we also appreciate your feedback. Please like and share this with your young boys, your teenage boys, maybe even your husband, just men in your life. I think it's a really good conversation. I think it's important because just growing up, I realized that being a man is tough. It is tough. But if you have that mental toughness and you have those principles, it makes life that much more easier for you. So, Joe, do you have any last tidbits for our audience before we let everyone go?
I mean, the last thing I would just say is real simple. Just be where your feet are. If you're with your
Mm,
family, be with your family. If you're at work, be at work. You know, if you're at
absolutely.
church, be at church. Stop wishing you were somewhere else where your feet are where they're at. Be where your feet are.
Great. Man, that's a great ending. I think that's where we should end right there. Hey, Joe, I really again thank you for your time, your busy day to do this live with me. You're on episode 211, and so we got a few to go, but we're going to reach that 365 by the end of December 31st. So I'm excited, and thank you for being a part of this journey with me, man.
Pleasure, man. Good stuff.
Thank you, sir. All right, everybody, we're going to let you go. Again, please like, please share, please comment, and let us know what you think. Either you could agree with me or not agree with me, but either way, I feel this was a successful conversation. Bye, everybody.